had never worn a pace-tuned running shoe prior to lacing up the Vimazi Trail Z2s a few weeks back. And if you're wondering what pace-tune means, in the context of running shoes, it's basically a marriage of design and technology that's intended to optimize your pace and your biomechanics at certain running speeds. We'll talk about more of that in just a moment. The Trail Z2s target a pace of about 8 to 12 minutes per mile, which works perfectly for me. I did begin testing these in mid-March during World Vertical Week, so my pace was usually in the high 10s or even in the 11s while trying to do about 300 to 500 feet of gain per mile. On some of the flatter terrain though, I was definitely able to stick closer to that 9 to 10 minute per mile range. The goal with hitting this range is that Portland-based Vimazi believes that its 4-foot fast pod delivers that perfect combination of cushioning and propulsion efficiency to keep you moving forward while reducing fatiguing. Essentially, they want to make running more enjoyable. And Vimazi has a pretty wide range of shoes to hit whatever pace you're targeting. However, their road shoe lineup is a lot more extensive than their trail ones, at least at the moment. We talked with Vimazi founder Scott Tucker, and he explained it this way. Think of it like understanding the forces behind a car's acceleration. It's not just about the raw power from the engine, it's about how that power translates into forward motion. And putting just over 60 miles on the Trail Z2s, I came away with a sense of what he's trying to accomplish, and ended up overall pretty happy with the result. During my vertical week runs, the Z2s, which have a 5mm drop, were comfortable on fire roads and provided nice lateral stability on some of the more technical terrain. And that even goes for the downhills, where the cushioning and the rocker on that extended heel made things easier than a lot of other shoes do. When I moved over to flatter sections in subsequent weeks, it was a pretty smooth transition. Despite what the website description says, I didn't find the sole to be particularly aggressive. The lugs aren't nearly as big as many of my other trail shoes, though I suppose the case could be made that the tread pattern was quite complex. Still, it didn't translate into a grippier experience on the rocky old growth trails that I usually run. Yet in many ways this came across as a good thing, because while I don't know that this is formally billed as a hybrid shoe, because it didn't have those big lugs, it made the transition between different surfaces during a running workout pretty easy. While the Z2s come in on the heavy side at about 12 ounces, they didn't often feel chunky, even after some of those longer 2 or 3 mile climbs. I've been dealing with some Achilles issues since an injury last fall, so I particularly like how comfortable the heel construction was on these shoes. The tongue too is something I was happy with. It has strategic padded points, and while it is thinner in spots, it was still really flexible and didn't dig into my skin. Tucker said the biggest spec for him, which you won't find in any other shoe's spec sheet, is the softness of the midsole heel versus the forefoot. People can talk about drop and stack height on their shoes, but for Tucker, he's all about density and fine-tuning just how much of the midsole springs back under the weight of a full-grown human. For Vimazi, they're delivering a significantly softer heel than forefoot, so that your body has to absorb less of the impact shock. But the shoe remains a stable platform for pushing off through that stride. The difference in midsole firmness from the heel to forefoot is so important. Tucker told ActionHub, I quote, "In discovering the impossibility of making an energy return shoe, I discovered that you can make a shoe that reduces impact stress without becoming a wobbly thing that might increase stress on your knee and ankle joints, at least side to side." Generally speaking, I love the innovation that Vimazi is bringing to their shoes, and I hope that they're able to expand their trail running lineup. The only major thing that didn't work for me with these shoes is the gaping around the ankle. My suspicion is that this is partly an east-west cultural thing in the trail running community, where so many western trails have low vegetation and are well groomed. Yet where I am along the Blue Ridge Mountains of Appalachia, smooth trails free of rocks and sticks and leaves are almost impossible to find. And all those little bits that get kicked up during a run fall right into the shoe in those gaps. While that may seem like a relatively small quibble, these shoes inadvertently did put constraints on where I could go running, and I didn't really like that. However, there is very much to like about these shoes. With the heel construction, the tongue, the upper in general, everything really was very comfortable to wear. I do enjoy exploring some of these less mainstream shoe brands, and Vimazi's one I'm going to keep an eye on moving forward. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to learn more shoe reviews, check us out on YouTube or actionhub.com.